Welcome to Taicho Cyclist channel. What I'm reviewing today is RGT Cycling, formerly known as RoadGrandTours. As you can see, I'm setting up my power meter from the smart trainer, cadence, heart rate sensor, and my smart trainer is a Belgian Gravat 2 at 100% full road view. Okay, we are going to do a review of the Paterberg Course, ridden in the forward going direction as well as in reverse. First, view number 1, rider view. As we get across the starting line, this is view number 2, view number 3, this is view number 4, view number 5, and last but not least, coming up soon, this is view number 6. As we head out towards the Paterberg climb. On the program screen, you can actually see what's on the left here. On the top is your power in watts, the cadence, number of revolutions per minute, your heart rate, current, watts per kilo based on the number of watts versus your weight in kilograms. Draft benefit. Draft benefits will show up only if you're following somebody. Otherwise, it will always be 0 if you're riding alone. Over on the left, you can see a list of riders on the course, including myself, which is highlighted here. On the bottom there, if you want to chat with other riders or send messages, just click chat and type. If you click feedback, basically you're sending messages back to RGT Cycling to let them know about anything, how you feel about the program. Turn. Simply to say turn is to perform a U-turn. By doing so, what you need is to hold on to your spacebar and a slider will appear, and when it fully engages, your rider will turn 180 degrees around and ride back in the opposite direction. As we are heading out towards the Paterberg, over on the right you can see the distance I have traveled and the actual gradient now that I'm riding on. Next to it is the distance towards the end of the loop. Below it you can see the course gradients, the course map, side view. Below that would be your actual speed now, time elapsed, and the altitude climbed. Here you can see the numbers start to turn red. What it means is actually applying brakes to your rider. This feature usually kicks up when you go into a sharp corner or coming down to a hill before a turn or a sharp bend. What I noticed is that I don't have to do anything about this. The program actually kicks in the braking and your avatar actually has to slow down. To speed out the corner, you have to really push it out again on your pedals. Well, as much as the realism is concerned, the gradient changes are great because why? The 5%, for example, the 5% here feels exactly like how I climb a 5% in the neighboring hill around where I live. Just like the 10%, I've come across 10%, the climb here at 100% feels exactly like a 10%. So kudos to RGT Cycling, they got that part right. Yep, as you can see, the gradient changes for Paterberg Course is pretty sudden. As fast as it goes down, it kicks up again. you would have noticed that there are also riders coming across you from the opposite direction. That's possible because they have activated the turn, so they are actually coming from the opposite side because of that. Just a little bit of information about my settings. I have a 4K monitor and a GTX 1070 GPU or graphic card. So what happened is that I've put it up to 60 frames per second. So I've put the program setting at maximum graphic details just to see how far it takes me, the user. This is view 3. If you noticed, the camera actually catches up with the rider. What happened is there's a drop in speed, so the camera actually catches up with you. This is view 1 and this is view 2. Coming up at 8% climb. Well, I'm pretty impressed with the level of detailing for the environment, the road, countryside, ground, grass, the trees, the sky. Even though the sky is always gloomy here in Paterberg, but I think it's okay. But hopefully it's not every day like this in real life. Coming off a turn, going down slopes. You can see trees line up at the side of the road. The level of coloring, it's different. Some brown, some light green, some dark green. You would have noticed that the brakes actually kicked in a bit. For some strange reason. Going downhill shouldn't be that difficult, but the brake kicks in sometimes. I mean, I wish that would be a bit more free flowing, so it goes unhindered as you try to pedal downhill as hard as you can. Yes, when you go downhill, you really have to pedal hard if you want to go fast. As we approach to the Paterberg, and you can see the banner coming down at the top of the middle. The leaderboard appears just to tell you who's actually leading right now for no time. Here we go as we approach the Paterberg. Kicks up with 8% and it ends up with about 19% at maximum before it stops at 11% again. This is a long grind, mostly more than 10% or more. I'm actually out of the saddle, which the avatar isn't really showing, but I can tell you it really hurts now. Coming close to about 17-18%, it really hurts. Still pushing out of the saddle, looking at the finish line and nothing else in the mind. Just push and push and push. As you can see, there's cobbles here, and not so sure if RGTCycling is gonna invoke the road sense for Text Neo 1 and 2 users. Hopefully they do, and if you have a Text Neo 1 and 2, you'll be in for a treat. and I've just finished the Paterberg climb. Minute 37, not fantastic, not too bad. Just to show everyone how the climb is, as I finished my first loop. It's about 4.22 kilometers. Yes. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the spacebar, take a look at the turn. Bingo, saw the slider, and yes, I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna show you the course in return. So in the meantime, I'm gonna just leave you to watch how the course goes. as you can see that the avatar actually can get out of the saddle and pedal, but so far I've only seen it happen when you're going pretty fast or you're climbing at a certain point in time. Pretty nice detailing of the environment by RGTCycling. I think they did a great job on this. A steep climb, 16%. Just have to push. As we start to approach to the end of the reverse lap, I just like to sum up my feelings about RGT cycling. It has actually improved since the early beta days in terms of environment detailing, the road feel. Well, I mean, the gradient changes are great. It's pretty realistic. I like the UI, the presentation of the data, which you can actually choose to switch it off to if you don't want to see it. Things again, well, once again, it's about the braking. The braking is still room for improvement, as it comes pretty abrupt at times. I would have loved to corner through a turn rather than having to suddenly brake that hard through it and push it out again. I'm sure RGT Cycling will look into this and they will continue to improve on that area. Avatar wise, well, few limited kits at this point in time. I'm not complaining because it's still in beta. Personally, I'll just use whatever that's available at this point in time. It's just a matter of colors. If it's blue, it's my personal favorite. I'll just use it. And now we're back. And that has been one lap in reverse. With that, I'd just like to say thank you for viewing my video. This has been a feedback on RGT cycling, mainly on the Paterberg Course. And just like to thank you for watching. Bye for now.